Good morning. Can I ask your name and your job, please?
Yeah, so my name's Alid Davis. So I'm the Marine Superintendent here at Dragon LNG.
Can you briefly describe your job and what are the best and the worst bits about it?
So, briefly describing my job. So, the LNG tankers that come to our terminal and bring the LNG that we import into our process, I oversee with another one of my colleagues the safe discharge of all LNG here at the terminal, and then we also oversee the security of the terminal here as well. That's briefly my job.
What are the best and the worst bits about it?
So the best bits for me is coming from a marine background. So I used to be at sea myself. I can still go on board the ships. I can still see all of the ship's crew and interact with them and do all those bits and pieces. The worst bits, I wouldn't say worst, but sometimes it's difficult because some of the hours are really, really early in the morning or really, really late at night. So some of the working in unsociable hours is a little bit difficult, but it's certainly not the worst bit. But it's one of the bits of the jobs that you have to push through and work through. Lots of coffee. That's the only thing I can say.
What skills are important in your job, and do you use any of the STEM skills?
So some of the skills that are important in my job, communication. So being able to communicate with lots of different nationalities on board the ships, being able to communicate with all the team here on Dragon ashore as well. That's really, really important. STEM then, so science. We definitely use a lot of science in our job. Initially from how ships float, so buoyancy and gravity and all that sort of stuff. Engineering, definitely. So how we connect our loading arms to ships, how all the pumps and systems on board work. Technology, yeah, definitely. There's lots of technology involved in our operation. All the systems and all the discharge equipment on board the ship and all the measuring. And then the maths, so measuring how much cargo you've actually put ashore. So in our job, we use all the STEM parts completely, yeah.
That's brilliant. Are there any stereotypes or inequalities related to your job?
So, when you think of, let's say, when you think of a captain, what comes into your mind? A man, yeah, definitely. So, one of the biggest stereotypes in the marine world is it's a very male-oriented world, but that's not true. There are some fantastic female and non-binary and gender fluid people coming through into the industry, and it's so important that we get to have that, sort of working partnership with everybody, because there's certainly some ships now that are fully crewed by full women, and to think 30, 40 years ago, that might not be possible. So it's amazing to see how the industry's moved on, but there's a role for everybody in maritime and marine, definitely.
How would I be able to get a job like yours? What qualification or experience would I need?
So, as I said then, so my job here, and I absolutely love my job here, and I love the people that I work with, so I went to sea when I was 16. So I went to Milford Haven School, just like you, and I did my GCSEs, and then I went away to Warsash Maritime Academy at 16, and went to sea it on chemical tankers, so like the big tankers you see in the Haven. That's what I went on. I did 5 or 6 years at sea, and then managed to come ashore and worked for Valero for a little while, and now here at Dragon. So having that background experience of being at sea and some of the qualifications that I did, so I did a higher national diploma, so HND in nautical science. So that's the posh bit, but basically it's learning how to drive ships. That's all it is. That's it's not that posh as it sounds, I promise. All right?
If you had one piece of advice for pupils in Milford Haven School, what would it be?
So one piece of advice that I would give you is please, please, please remember there is a world outside of Pembrokeshire, okay? Please, 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 if you have the opportunity to go somewhere and see something, if only for a short time, go and do it and bring those skills back, because I've been able to do that, and now I can settle here at home. So that's the biggest thing. So enjoy it whilst you're young, travel, see the world, definitely do all those bits and pieces, but remember those skills that you're learning and bring them all back here in Pembrokeshire, because we need people like you for the future to run places like this. Yeah? Amazing.
Oh, Alan, sorry, amazing. That was amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you.